Hey, what is up guys, and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, as promised in my sort of buyer's guide for this car, I basically turned around and said I would bring you a money guide and prove to you just how good this thing is at making money. Basically all the Group 2 cars are very good for grinding. I do feel like they get overlooked quite a bit. I feel like people are, always trying to find the fastest default car to do these methods, but trust me, don't sleep on these Group 2 machines because they are absolutely insane. So if you want to buy this car, like previously stated, it is 800k and it will come in a Patronus livery. Basically, it's an okay livery, but if you want to spruce it up, honestly, some awesome liveries available for this car. So let's get into the method. It's, a pretty straightforward method. It's a method, we've all been sort of doing for a while, but this is a double method, so there's two different ways to do this. So the event you want to find is in Europe. It's at Sardinia in Italy, and it's the World Touring Car 800. You will not need to do anything to this car apart from buy hard tyres. So that is the strategy I'm going to show you first. So put on your hard tyres. It will drop your sort of performance down a bit, but don't overly worry about it. Basically in this method we are going to take the car down to fuel mix 6, and what we're going to do for the the first few laps, because your pace is going to be sort of, you're going to be a bit quicker on the straights, but in the corners these cars can feel a little bit heavy at times, and you're sort of more equal to the GT3 cars in this event. We're going to basically sort of hang with them, hang around them. This is on normal difficulty. If you want to breeze through it, feel free to put it on easy. It does not affect your sort of money outcome. Basically what we are going for here is the clean race bonus. It's pretty easy to get, but just be careful when overtaking or running off track, getting penalties and such, because I've heard comments recently that basically that may have affected their clean race bonus. Not too sure, never had it happen to myself, but obviously with the sheer volume of comments I'm getting about it, I would sort of refrain from running a little bit too wide or trying to cut corners too much. Back in the day, basically it never ever affected your clean race bonus no matter what happened during the race. But as a heads up, just be careful. So as you can see, it doesn't look like we're making much progress. We've only overtook the one car on the first lap, but basically what we're going to be doing is short shifting as much as possible. So keep your eye on the revs and the gears as I take you through this full lap. Basically just copy this just to save as much fuel as possible to get this car to the end. You are going to make up the majority of your time when the other cars pit. You are not going to be pitting using this method. So here we are, that is a full lap. Obviously if you keep an eye on the gear ratios, you'll see how short I am shifting. That is the main thing you want to watch, and you want to keep an eye on your fuel in the bottom right. As we go into lap 4, you're going to see that even with fuel mix 6 and hard tyres, you have a rather hefty speed advantage, especially using the slipstreams to sort of help you. And you're going to see that is where most of your overtaking on track is going to happen. Like I said though, the majority of the later on overtakes or on the up further cars is going to be done during the pit stops. So as you can see, some of the cars are starting to pit now on lap 5. Like I said, we're not going to be pitting during this method. There is no need to do. As you can see, some of the cars will start to save fuel as well. The cars that do go a little bit longer, meaning that you will pretty much just eat them up on the main straight. There is some laps where you don't need to hold your fuel as much. You can see we've got a fastest lap of 1:43, and as them hard tyres sort of kick in, you will notice your lap times going down. And especially when you get used to this method, you will get a lot more faster and more consistent times. As you can see, lap 8 we have cars pitting again. They do seem to pit around about 2 or 3 times. I've noticed one of the cars that I know of for certain, which is that car there, will usually pit 3 times during this event. The others usually only pit twice, once on lap 5 and then a little bit later on into the race. As you can see, that car is now on 100% fuel and we are just gliding away. Nice hefty lead. The car, like I said, shouldn't need fuel in. You just need to watch that fuel, There is a bit of a funny clip at the end, as you'll see. I did go a little bit too hard. Your hard tyres as well, just a note on them. They won't really wear too much, but as you get further into the race, they may feel a little bit worse for wear. As you can see, lap 11, a bunch of cars are going to appear again, and you are just going to pretty much extend your lead out here. So lap 13, just taking it nice and steady still, fuel saving where we can, sort of letting go of the throttle, just so we're not overdoing the fuel consumption, because that is the main thing you need to watch. After doing it one time, you should have a feel for it, and then you can pretty much rinse and repeat. So for me, out of the two methods I'm going to show you with this car, this is the weaker method. The other method I do prefer myself, but if you're one of them that just wants to go straight for it without any sort of pit stop, time wasting, etc., and you feel a lot more comfortable doing a zero stop strategy, this is the one for you. So lap 15, some of the other cars are pitting again. Very chunky lead here, 43 seconds, and this is on normal difficulty. So as you can imagine, on easy it's going to be even easier. When you're lapping the cars, just take your time also. So this is going to be the end of this strategy, and if you watch the fuel, you're going to see where you may have pushed a little bit too hard into some of the closing laps, and you're going to see the car is just going to run out of fuel right at the line, and we're going to pretty much just glide over. So that's going to be the end of strategy 1. Let's take a look at the actual overall time, and we're going to compare it against the other method that we're going to be using here. So our overall time is 26 minutes 33. So once you are used to it, you will get quicker and quicker. Sorry about that. As you can see, for that that amount of time, you're going to get 727,500. So not overly bad really, when you think about it. And like I said, that one is for the players that mostly want to just save the fuel and sort of relax while they're doing it. You don't overly have to do it. You don't have to worry about pit stops, tyres and such. So this is method 2. So this is the zero fuel saving method, maximum attack the whole time. So at first you may be a bit shocked by how much fuel the car uses. It actually seems to sort of equal out as you go. So you might see the number going up and down, up and down. But when you sort of get into your rhythm, you will realise this car isn't actually that bad on its fuel when you are going flat out. So for this method, we're going to be using the medium tyre. So the tyre is much quicker, but it is less durable than the hards. So your lap time should be down, on this run. You will get quicker lap times, but like I said, you do have to do the pit stop. It's a one-stop strategy. There's no multiple pit stops, and people that have run this event quite regular will know there is no changes in weather, so you don't need to worry about inters or rain tires or anything like that. You will just pit and go back onto another set of mediums. Towards the end, you may feel like they might sort of slip away from you a little bit. Don't worry about it too much. These cars have a lot of grip, a lot of downforce, and they're very reluctant to sort of kick the back end out, especially since we've had these new physics. But yeah, as you can see, when you're doing your overtaking, especially at the start, just take your time and time them well. Don't overly worry about sort of getting ahead too fast or too soon, and putting yourself out there to make more mistakes. Just hold back, take your time your overtakes to perfection, and yeah, you should be keeping your nose clean. Like I said, the other cars are going to have to pit more than you. You are just doing a single stop strategy, and as you can see, lap 1 we've already put in a 1 minute 42, so pretty decent opening lap. Your pace is just going to get nothing but quicker and quicker. Towards your first pit stops, your tyres won't feel too bad, but towards that end, you may feel like with the low fuel in the car and obviously the tyre wear on the mediums, that the car may feel a little bit slidey. Don't overly push it, but don't be overly worried. As you can see, on Fuel Mix 1, these Group 2 cars are just eating the Group 3 cars, or the GT3s. A lot more downforce and quite a bit more power on the straights. They do seem to be able to hit fairly decent top speeds. A little bit more than the GT3, but it's it's not top speed we're really going for. But the cornering speed itself, especially on the medium tyres, is pretty damn good. There's not too much to worry about. As you can see, the other cars pitting around us, as second place goes into the pits on lap 2, along with a bunch of other cars. So as you can see, that's going to be sorry, lap 2, lap 6. So there's going to be a bunch of other cars pitting at the same time, and that's where you're really going to start putting the gap out. As you can see, overall our best time so far is a 1:38.9. We're on lap 7 and we are getting towards our first pit stop. So as you can see at this point, the tyre wear looks a lot worse than it actually feels. Still just be careful, because you can put yourself in these situations where, you know, as you can see, the back end will kick out, but it won't overly kick out. If you're too harsh on the throttle, you probably can spin the car. I am fortunate to have not really ran into that issue so far. So we're going to pit end of lap 7. Just, you know, if you copy this, you can pretty much get it every time. We're going to pit onto mediums. We still had a little bit of fuel left in the tank, so yeah, not too bad really. We're going to take this pit stop. We're going to fill the car all the way up, and that should get us through to the end with, you know, a good enough amount of fuel. And we're just going to obviously get them fresh tyres, so just get the lap times going again. You could probably run it on, you know, one set of mediums or run it on hards. I wouldn't really recommend. I'd just recommend going for the quickest tyre that keeps you under that performance limit, and that's obviously got some durability just to get you from the first pit stop and then from after the first pit stop to the end. So you can see we're lapping the cars here, and we're just going to sort of time it where we know we're clean and safe. Like I previously mentioned, I didn't think it was possible to get that clean race bonus took off you, but I am seeing more and more comments of people saying like, yes, you can lose it now if you run wide, or if you hit traffic, or one of the other cars takes you out, you will lose that clean race bonus. Obviously, we don't want to be doing that, because that is what sort of bulks your money up and makes this such a good method. And like I said, I mean, this car, it's reasonably priced. So far out of the methods I've done, this is the cheapest one. We did a Toyota at 3 million, which is quite a steep entry point. The Tomahawk S at 1 million, again, pretty expensive, and it's not the best feeling car in the world. Whereas this straight out of the box without any, you know, extra add-ons or anything like that, apart from the hard tyres, costing you 800k, which is, you know, pretty fairly good. As you can see, we're going to finish the race now with some fuel left in the tank, and that is going to be that. So let's compare that time, well, sorry, this time to the previous time, and see where we really come out. So as you can see on the pit stop method, 25 minutes 42, and it is possible to go, you know, quite a bit quicker than that. As you get used to it, you will gain more and more confidence, and like with anything that you repeat, you will get the muscle memory, and that is 727,500. So fairly good overall. Which method would I sort of recommend out of these two? Would I really recommend this car? 100%. It is definitely one of the best cars to make money in this game. I just absolutely love the sound of it, the look of it, the liveries. That in itself it's a joy to look at, even, you know, and to listen to while you're grinding, which for me, it's a bonus. It can be fairly, you know, tedious and boring grinding for hours on end, but you won't have a problem with this car. And the 800k, you know, entry point for it, fairly good. So I would recommend the second pit stop method if you want to do any of them. But yeah, honestly, thanks for watching, guys. And to you guys that have stuck around for ages now, thanks for, you know, keeping in contact with the channel. Thanks for watching, liking, commenting, and I'll hopefully see you all in the next video. Thank you very much, guys. I'll see you later. Cheers.